Hi guys, this is Teegle, and today I'm going to walk you through how to convert mesh accessories that were made for one breed of Teeglepet Horse in Second Life to fit all of the other breeds of Teeglepet Horse. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up your Teeglepet Breed Converter file, which comes with your Teeglepet Dev Kit. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the terms of service, but you should absolutely read those the first time you open up your file. And before we get started, I do want to point out that the Teeglepet, which is an object that will be resed on the ground, is therefore subject to the land impact calculations and also the LOD calculations from Linden Lab. So if you have a history of creating accessories for avatars, this may be something that you've never thought of before, and I do encourage you to do your research before getting started on this on good topology, how to get your best topology, or if you're working with something previously rigged for the Teeglepet, how to re-topo your model to get the best topology so that you get the best possible land impact results. And also look at how to make really nice LODs for Second Life. These are things that will make a difference, a large difference to your land impact and also to how nice your models look from a distance, and it's something that's going to make your customers really happy. That said, the model that I'm going to be using to show you how to do this today is an absolutely terrible example of good optimization practices. This is, you may recognize the harness for the Teeglepet avatar, and you can see all of these modeled out details here, which if I were in practice going to redo this right now for the Teeglepet horses, I would definitely spend some time in retopo and maybe remove some of these finer details to add them as textures instead of actual mesh. But for the moment, I'm just using this as a model that covers a good deal of the horse's body to show you how the converter file works. So this will do for our purposes right now. The first thing you're going to want to do once you import your model into the file is to right-click and delete the skeleton if it did already have a skeleton applied as something that was rigged for the Teegle horse. And I'm going to rotate these on the z-axis by -90 degrees. Let me go ahead and turn on my screencast for you guys. I'm going to come in and remove this local scale keyframe using the X key for each of these models. Now I'm going to want to reparent these to the new armature. I'm going to delete the old armature, shift right click, and then Control P, set parent with empty groups. Do it again, delete the old armature, shift right click, Control P to set parents with empty groups. And now once we've done this, as I move my keyframe on the timeline, you can see down here frame 1 is the Hanoverian, frame 5 is the American Paint Horse, and as I move from frame 1 to frame 5, you can see that the mesh refits itself to fit the Paint Horse shape instead of the Hanoverian shape. As I add additional breeds in the future, I will continue to upload this file and you will see the additional breeds appear down here on the timeline. You'll have to keep downloading new updates to see the new breeds come out, but for the moment, since these are the only 2 breeds that we have, I've gone ahead and added a third little breed. It looks like a little dash hound pony, so that you can see that even for breeds that are drastically different in shape, this file will work. It will do a lot of the work for you and make the conversion process a whole lot easier. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and try it. Don't be too afraid to make accessories for more than one breed of horse at a time. You can do it. When you do convert for each individual breed, you should definitely check around your model, look for areas that may clip, that may stretch in a way that you don't want them to, that will require some manual fixing, and most especially pay attention to the horse's face, because the breeds I do expect will all have a lot of changes in the face. Like for example, the Hanoverian has a much rounder nose, whereas the Paint Horse has a much flatter nose. So while you are adjusting for each new breed of horse, you are going to want to come into edit mode and make some individual changes. But before we get into that, so once you have imported your mesh into the file, you've set it to the breed that you want, go ahead and save your file. I'm not going to save right now because I don't want to save over the converter, but you absolutely should save before you have applied as rest pose. Once you have saved, you can go ahead and make whatever small changes you want in edit mode to refit your harness to the shape that you're working with. Like for instance, I will probably want to bring this down some, bring this down some. If you work in mirror mode, your life will be a whole lot easier. I will leave the other individual changes to you, but once you have finished making all of your individual changes in edit mode, you're going to want to right click on the skeleton again. You will need Avastar for this next step, so if you don't own it, I encourage you to go out and buy it. Open up your Workflows tab, and you'll want to make sure that you have either all features or experimental selected. And with that selected, and with your keyframe on the breed that you are trying to work with, which right now is the American Paint Horse, you'll want to come down here to the Posing tab and click Apply as Rest Pose. And what this is going to do is it's going to make the current pose the rest pose for the skeleton, which means that when you upload this mesh now into Second Life, it will know that this is its starting rest pose, which will be the case if you're uploading mesh for the American Paint Horse. So from now, once you've hit Apply as Rest Pose, once it's done all of its calculations, you can right-click each piece of the mesh, go to File, Export as Collada Avastar, and then export your mesh to upload into Second Life. And when you upload it into Second Life, you will see that this mesh now snaps correctly the way that it should to the American Paint Horse. At this point, after having applied rest pose, you do not want to save this file. You'll want to go to File, Revert, and start again on your next breed. I hope this helps. I hope this speeds up your rigging process and makes you a little less afraid to rig to more than one breed at a time. And happy rigging!